नमस्कार। नमस्कार। मैं सीए मनमोहन जिंदल, एक्स बैंकर, एक्स कनारा बैंक and registered valuer in security and financial assets from Mumbai. So banks or financial institutions have different type of customer to whom the bank serves. So we shall discuss types of customers. First and foremost is individual. This is one type of account holder in a bank where the person owning the account or the account holder is an individual person or persons. So, among the individual, one type of customer is minor. In case of minor, a banker would open a joint account with the natural guardian. Uh, Most of the time, minor is not allowed to open the independent account, and that should be taken care of the account by the natural guardian. But to encourage the habit of the savings, bank open minor accounts in the name of minor and allow single operations by the minor himself or herself. So it is an initiative to educate the child or educate the minor at the initial level, and this type of product is also available at the bank. Such accounts are opened subject to certain conditions like the minor should be of some minimum age, say 12 or 13 years or the above, as per the policy of the RBI guidelines. Should be literate. He should be literate. He is not allowed to given any overdraft in this account, and no overdraft is allowed in such accounts. Two minors cannot open a joint account. The father is the natural guardian for opening a minor account, but RBI authorized mother also to sign as guardian, except in case of Muslim minors. Another type of joint account holder where two individuals can open a single account in the joint account. A joint account is an account by two or more persons. At the time of opening the account, all the persons should sign the account opening documents. Operating instructions may vary depending upon the total number of account holders. In case of two persons, it may be jointly by both, either or survivor, former or survivor. In case no specific instructions is given, the operations will be by all the account holder jointly. Means first, the instructions for operations in the account would come to an end in the case of insanity, insolvency, or death of any joint holders, and operations of the account would be stopped. So then it is to be settled as per the prevailing law. Another type of person is illiterate person. A person who cannot either read or write, but he can uh, he can have the account in the bank with certain conditions. Illiterate persons who cannot sign are allowed to open only a saving account without check facility. Note that in illiterate person's account, check book facility is not allowed, or a fixed deposit account. Fixed deposit account भी नहीं है. They are generally not permitted to open a current account. Current account open नहीं होता है. The following additional requirement need to be met by opening accounts for such persons. If an illiterate person wishes to open an account with a bank, he would need to come to the bank in person and identify himself. Because he is not having the checkbook, he cannot sign the checkbook and cannot operate remotely. He has to come to the bank in person to identify himself. Complete all the necessary documentation in the presence of two bank officials. Affix a thumb impression in the presence of two bank officials in lieu of signature, because we cannot signature, so he has to put a thumb impression in the presence of two bank officials. The depositor's photograph is affixed to the ledger account and also to the saving passbook for identification. In case of withdrawal of money, he should attend the bank in person. thumb impression is verified and a proper identification of the account holder is obtained. Another form is Hindu undivided family. This is normally where the joint family exists and the entity is represented by its karta, who will be solely responsible for all the activities of this family and its financials. Other family members are called co-partners. Here, the Karta and the other co-partners may possess self-acquired property other than the HUF property, but these cannot be clubbed together for the HUF use. So, everybody can have the separate properties or a joint account, joint Hindu undivided family account. These two are separate. In HUF business, the individual properties of the co-partners are spared from attachment of HUF dues. So, being HUF dues having the separate status and individual is having a separate status, so both are separate. Now, daughters confers equal right in the Mitaksha co-partnership property. The female co-partners can also act as of the HUF. In the earlier days, females are not allowed to be co-partners, but now she can act as a karta also. When any HUF property is to be mortgaged to the bank as a security of loan, all major co-partners, including female co-partner, will have to execute the documents. The whole family has to execute the documents who are major. Another form is forms. Forms are a type of business entity which could be either a sole proprietary firm or a partnership firm. A sole proprietary firm is a business entity owned solely by a single person. A partnership firm is a business entity owned by two or more people undertaking business in partnership. Such a business entity will continue to so long as the partners continue to act in accordance with the agreement entered into by and between them prior to the commencement of the business. So a partnership deed is executed. It can be registered also, or it cannot be registered. So when two or more persons join hand together to run a business with a defined share of profit, is called the partnership. It's a separate legal entity called companies. A company is a business entity and a separate legal entity. Three types of companies are in operation: private limited company, public limited company, and government. In public limited company, the minimum shareholders or minimum members should be 7. But without an unlimited members and there is no limit upward, it should be started or it can be started with a paid capital of rupees 5 lakh minimum. Private limited, it has got minimum 2 members and maximum 200 members with paid up share capital of rupees 1 lakh. For banking business, maximum member allowed is 20. Government company having at least 51% shareholding of government, central or state. Whether it is central, whether it is state, 51% shareholding should be of the government. Trusts, clubs, or cooperative society. Trust. A trust is a type of organization set up for the particular business of governing a specific type of activity. Its running is governed by the powers specified in the relative trust deed. So a trust deed is created and it is to be registered with the registrar of trust and it is to be taken care of by the trustee. This organization is run by a group of people called the trustees. A club is a type of organization which has been formed for a particular purpose. Its activities are governed by its laws. It is run by a group of people called the managing committee. Cooperative societies. A cooperative society is an organization which has been formed for a particular purpose. It has been set up under the Regional Cooperative Societies Act. Its activities also is governed by its bylaws. It is run by a group of people called the managing committee. Another type of individual accounts is non-resident accounts. There are type of customers who live outside India. They have banking accounts with banks in India. Such banks hold funds for them and allow them to be operated in line with the conditions stipulated by the regulatory authority. So we have seen that number of persons have gone abroad for work, for study, or for other work. So being their roots are India, so they uh, keep the bank accounts in India, and that is called a non-resident. Another account is also called non-resident ordinary account. Another account where funds are held in Indian rupees and balances are not allowed to be repatriated abroad. But in some conditions, a particular amount can be repatriated subject to such terms and conditions may repatriate. Non-resident external NRE account. These are types of accounts where non-residents can maintain their funds in India. Credit into such accounts can only be emanate from abroad and balances remaining can be repatriated abroad. Such accounts are presently opened and held in either Indian rupees and certain other permitted forms. So, thank you very much. This is from my side. It is for a awareness purpose only. Before taking any action, kindly go through the relevant guidelines of RBI, relevant guidelines of the bank to whom you have to dealt with. धन्यवाद.